Welcome everybody back to Boost Motion, guys. And today we have a crazy update for you guys. Finally, we have some more turbos. Yes, we finally have some more turbos for the VR30 community, and you guys have been saying it for the last year. When the Nissan Z comes out, will they start developing more parts? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I am seeing it now, and it is definitely coming out. So you guys were definitely right. So guys, let's jump right into it. So AMS Performance. Yes, AMS Performance. They were the leading company to push the VR30 platform first. So in this case, guess what? They're dropping their turbos for the VR30. So let's jump right into it. Let's do a quick reading. All right, shout out to AMS Performance. The VR30 Alpha 10 Turbo Kit. First thing, we already knew a turbo kit was coming out because if you look at other cars that they have developed over time, they've always come out with a turbo kit or some kind of turbo kit for the other motor vehicles. So soon enough, they decided to do something for the Nissan Z. But it has to make sense for money, though. Anyways, the AMS Performance Alpha line of turbo kits has been the benchmark in automotive performance for years with countless world records, awards, and championships. We know that. Shout out to AMS. The Alpha name, okay, cool. Let's fast forward. So we're incredibly proud to announce the new evolution of our new Alpha Turbo Kit line. The 1,000 wheel horsepower compatible AMS Alpha 10 Turbo Kit for the Nissan Z, Infiniti Q50, and Q60. Shout out to the Alpha Performance team. Shout out to AMS for doing that. Because when they throw out a number there, they're not playing. That means it took them a lot of R&D to make sure they get here. Shout out to them. Our team has designed the AMS Performance Alpha 10 Turbo Kit to be the best performing, highest quality, and easiest to install kit on the market. This actually makes me a little sad because there's other companies out there, which we already know, which were developing their own off-the-shelf or trying to develop their own off-the-shelf turbo kits, and now AMS pulled up with 1,000 horsepower kit. This is insane. The VR30 kit is designed with a minimal amount of bends and restrictions by our team to smoothly and efficiently feed more air into the exhaust through the exhaust and intake paths, allowing the VR30 to breathe easier with reduced back pressure. Okay, this is for dummies. Okay, cool. Our team also designed an improved wastegate solution and created our own non-traditional wastegate port and flapper, allowing you to precisely control the boost and avoid boost creep entirely. What that means is pretty much to have a larger wastegate. If anyone know what a wastegate is, this is just to relieve the excess amount of exhaust into exhaust gases into your pretty much your exhaust system, so that the turbos won't keep spooling when it if the flap is too closed. That's pretty much it. This is checkmark. This is 1,000 wheel horsepower compatible billet compression wheel. Currently testing CHRA on record holding Alpha Z build. Okay, direct bolt-on installation in factory turbo kits location. That is one of the most important things, guys. Unique wastegate design allows perfect boost control and zero boost creep. So once again, so that means that if the wastegate is fully open, right, pretty much you're not getting any boost from the turbos. That means the turbines aren't spinning quick enough to raise the amount of boost. With the stock turbos, the wastegate is so small that even if you have the wastegate fully open, you'll still gain boost and you'll have boost creep. Okay, integrated bypass valve mount, large 2.7-inch compressor inlet flanges, and reuses the existing intakes and bolts to factory exhaust flange locations. Wow, that is pretty much fitment there. AMS Performance is engineering the company first. Okay, this is pretty much what they say. Let me see if there's anything important here. Performing parts. The focus design of AMS VR30 10 kits are what makes it the highest performing producing stock location. Okay. Additionally, our team knew that boost control and more specifically boost creep has plagued the VR30 platform for years with other turbo upgrades on the market. We spent countless hours designing a unique wastegate system which allows for perfect boost control at any PSI, negating boost creep and significantly lowering back pressure on the engine. Note, images shown are pre-production renders and are not necessarily indicative of the final product. So they actually let the cat out of the bag, but they're not going to go this far and tell us about it and not have it already. They have their prototypes. So here's some photos so that we can take a look. Wow. Those things are probably gonna be really big, but they're gonna fit. Wow, this is so cool. I'm so happy to see this. Okay, so they pretty much designed it something like Z1. They probably designed their own hot side, pretty much for the exhaust side, and they probably designed a larger cold side, pretty much. And they use a lot of the same exact locations. OEM, wow. And this is showing you the flow on how it would be in some of the spacing, I would assume. Is that the bypass valve they're speaking of? Okay. And this is another photo from that. Okay, cool. So let's click this off and we're going to talk a little bit more. Okay, that should be it. So, guys, let me just go back to you so you guys can look at me for a bit. What do I think about this? I'm actually freaking excited. I am super excited. The reason being is number one, I see where AMS did with this one. If this is 1,000 compatible horsepower kit, which means that number one, this is for stages for people who want to go with different stages of their build. Now, Z1 Motorsports, from what we can see, can make a turbo kit that can probably make close to 800 wheel horsepower. Z1 Motorsports turbos, right? So now we can see that we're moving in stages now. Stock turbo. You don't really hear so much about RT turbos so much, but if you want a slightly better OEM turbo, RT turbos. If you want a OEM turbo that can deliver about 600 wheel horsepower, you go with pure PS2 turbos. If you want something that can make close 7 to 800 horsepower, Z1 Motorsports. And now we have AMS clocking in. If they call in 1,000 wheel, we're looking at 900 to 1,000 wheel horsepower turbos now. And these are all OEM location they built. They go slap right in. This is great. I'm actually super excited for this platform now because now we are now moving into the next part of where the VR30 is going. This car, the Nissan Z has only been out for less than a year. And once I already see it. A bunch of people are going to end up buying these turbo kits. But here's going to be the only downside because I got to say the cons and the pros. The pros, the cons I would say is number one, pricing. You think AMS is going to sell this freaking kit for like $4,000 like Z1 Motorsports? You fucking crazy. I'm sorry. Sorry if you had kids in the living room. You fucking crazy. This is AMS. All right? They ain't spent all that money and time to give you 1,000 horsepower turbos. Come to freaking Mercedes and look at E63 turbos. PTG turbos are like $13, $14, $15,000, okay? So I'm assuming that these turbos, if Daily Q50 probably comments, these turbos are going to probably be like $8,000 to $10,000 just for the turbos alone. And then from then on, I don't know if they're going to probably, another con I would assume is they might say we need to tune for it, but I highly doubt it. They would rather just sell the units and just there's enough good tuners out in this platform that honestly would actually coordinate and tell that specific customer, hey, listen, these are 1,000 horsepower turbo, 1,000 horsepower turbos. So you can't just say you're gonna have a stock motorcycle trans, just throw it on there with stock fuel system. No, you're not gonna make 1,000 horsepower. And honestly, because it's so large, they're probably gonna sit there and tell them you're gonna probably have a slow ass performance. A lot of stock turbo cars are gonna destroy you on 983. Even if you run E, you're probably still not gonna do enough. So honestly, they're probably gonna end up selling these kits. The turbos separately, which is super dope. And they're gonna probably recommend all their other builds, other parts that they're gonna have. And I'm assuming that they're probably gonna come out with another part too, because in my mind, yes, they already have pretty much tackled all the cooling already. The only thing I haven't seen AMS do for the VR30 platform is go air to air. And I think I've been seeing Soho developing, or they're developing an air-to-air kit also for the Nissan Z. So I'm waiting to see if AMS develops an air-to-air kit, because at this point, yes, air-to-water is some of the fastest VR30s have air-to-water. Cool, I get it. But it seems that over time, air-to-air is just more consistent, unless you have a refrigerator size amount of air of coolant going through the system of your VR30. You know what I'm saying? But having a large front mount is a lot better for space savings and weight, pretty much. And I'm happy about it, man. I'm super happy about it. This is for people who got bigger banks too. These is for definitely for people who have bigger banks, man. And I do feel bad for other companies, such as I don't want to drop the companies because I don't want to start any problems, but other companies that were making their one-off turbo kits now, because now we're gonna have between 400 wheel to 1,000 horsepower OEM style turbos for the VR30. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. From prices of from 4 to possibly 10 to 12 grand. You see what I'm saying? I'm excited to. I'm happy, man. I'm happy to see it, and I'm not even in the platform anymore. And I'm just like, man, that's freaking great. So I know someone's gonna comment below and be like, "Well, Boost, you said if Z1 Motorsports come out with a turbo or 800 wheel turbo kit, you'll come back." I mean, I still haven't seen anybody crack 800 wheel on side block yet. Well, at least on the Z1 Motorsports. Bonnie and Clyde's did though, definitely with their aftermarket turbo kit, but they're still selling their stuff privately now, so they're not doing that. And that's pretty much it. Um, the highest I've seen on stock block on 93 was like 650 on 93, but all that power was upstairs. Anything below that, it just took a long while to spool, too long to spool. You know what I'm saying? So that car is gonna probably be slow from the start, but once the turbos are spooling, all that power will be upstairs. I would really want, if I ever got back in the VR30 game, like I kind of gave up on the Z thing. It's just I'm not paying overages and all the extra money for a Z. But if I ever got back into the VR30 game, of course, it would have to be another Q50. I don't want to do it, but it would have to be another Q50 because I like 4 doors. But if it's gonna make if it's gonna have be a turbo kit, it has to make like 600 to 650 wheel on 93. I don't want to touch E85. If you can't make 600 wheel on 93, I would say let me be better, 650 wheel, because honestly, if it's 600 wheel, that means anything below that is 500. So 650 wheel on 93, that's a pretty fast car. That car is probably gonna be in the sixes or 60 to 130. That's a pretty fast car. That's a pretty fast car, especially for the light, or even in a set or high sevens. Because right now my E63 run like a 7.5 60 to 130. It's a heavier car, and it's making additional power, but it has additional weight. So if I was making this close to the same, about a little less power, like 600 wheel, and about 5 to 600 pounds lighter, yeah, it'll be pretty much anything that's around G80, G82 on 93 territory. If you're, to me, that is the new benchmark to me. Like, if you're a 93 fuel and you have just a simple tune, I think that car is now the new benchmark. And yeah, it's fast because it's only on 93. Everything else is stock. Like, that's quick to me. All right. But outside of that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Shout out to AMS Performance. Shout out to Daily Q50 because I know that, they definitely work with each other. And I'm happy that over the years that AMS did not quit on the Q50, Q60 game. They just moved over to the Nissan Z because I hate to say it, AMS know that Nissan Z guys spend more money than Q50, Q60 guys. It's just the honest truth. Come on. It's just the freaking honest truth. All right? So outside of that, guys, you can add me at boostinmotion on IG. And outside of that, you guys have a good day. I appreciate you.